Əlbəttə ki, yox və yəqin ki, siz də bunu yaxşı bilirsiniz, mümkün deyil.
Of course not. You probably know it well, it is impossible. I think this is just a PR campaign. As you know, Armenia has not fulfilled a provision of the November 10 trilateral statement and actually ignores its obligations. This is why they have come up with such a proposal, to cover it up, and, at the same time, get rid of the term Zangezur corridor. I must also say that the word term Zangezur corridor somehow irritates them a lot. I say to them that the corridor does not call into question the sovereignty of any country. There is a north-south corridor that passes through the territory of Azerbaijan, and it does not mean that our sovereignty is being questioned. There is also an east-west corridor, but for some reason, the attitude to this corridor is a little different in Armenia. This is why it was named an Armenian intersection, a junction, and then an intersection of peace. But this is actually nothing more than a PR campaign. First of all, they must provide an unimpeded passage in the area between Zangezur and Ordubad. It is their obligation. I have already said, and I want to repeat, cargo, citizens and vehicles going from Azerbaijan to Azerbaijan should pass there freely without undergoing any inspection and customs clearance. As for cargo moving from other countries, for example, from Central Asia to Turkey Air through the territory of Armenia, or even cargo sent from Azerbaijan to Turkey Air, of course, all customs duties must be paid. This is a very fair position. Another important issue is the safety of this road. I have repeatedly told the Armenian leadership that Armenia's guarantees would not be sufficient for us. The statement of November 10 indicated that Russian border guards would provide security and control in the 42-43 kilometers stretch, and this obligation must be fulfilled. Armenia wants to shy away from this now. However, this is not logical either. Russian border guards are at the airport of Yerevan in Armenia, at the Armenia-Iran and Armenia-Turkey border. Why can they be deployed there, but not here? It is simply an excuse for not opening this road. We have been waiting for 3 years. They have accused us of planning to use force to open that road. However, this was an absurd accusation. I must also state that it is France that is responsible for such speculation, for spreading such cheap rumors. We know for sure that they were saying this everywhere. And it probably continues to be the case to this day that Azerbaijan will attack Armenia today or tomorrow. However, there is no basis for this. No preparations are being made. And it is actually impossible to hide such preparations. Everything is visible from above, from the satellite. And there are also other sources of information. We simply waited for 3 years. And when we saw that it was not working, we had no choice. We need to connect the main part of Azerbaijan with Nakhchivan by a short route. And as you know, an agreement has already been reached with Iran. Not only an agreement, but a groundbreaking ceremony has already been held. The construction of the first bridge in the direction of Afband has already started, and a second bridge is planned in the direction of Ordubad. We will probably start it this year. Therefore, Armenia will continue to be at an impasse. Now, as they say, they are running amok, having realized that they have been left out. In fact, as you know, the deputy head of the US State Department made an incomprehensible statement that either it will pass through Armenia, or we will not allow it to happen. Okay, we have been saying it for 3 years, that it should go through Armenia. But Armenia does not allow it to happen, and now they are blaming us for choosing another route. In other words, do create conditions for it to pass through the territory of Armenia, to pass through the territory of Meri, under the conditions I mentioned, and then there will be no need for another route. Otherwise, it is not clear. Today, the connection between the main part of Azerbaijan and Nakhchivan is carried out through the territory of Iran. Why are there no objections to that, and only to the Meri part? Armenia-Iran trade is growing and flourishing day by day. Iran has opened a consulate in West Zangezur. Why doesn't this raise any questions? So, such illogical and nonsensical statements do not bring honor to anyone. And when they say that we will not allow it to happen, I have already said this. What exactly does America mean? How will it not allow it to happen? Will they come and build a barrier in Zangezur, or place an army in Zangezur, or in the territory of Iran? How exactly will they not allow this to happen? This is our sovereign matter. Recently, a bridge over Astarache was opened with Iran. Why? Because the volume of cargo transported along the north-south corridor has doubled, and the terminal in Astara is unable to handle all that cargo. We have opened a second crossing with Russia in Konoba, and there are now 2 crossings on the Russia-Azerbaijan border. There used to be 1. There are also 2 crossings with Iran. So, It is our sovereign business. Therefore, my advice to the Armenian side is not to engage in manipulations here. Their proposed route from the main part of Azerbaijan to Nakhchivan is completely useless, and it will be impossible to use that route year-round. The weather conditions and natural terrain there are very harsh. The most appropriate option is through the Meri area. Back in Soviet times, a railway passed through it, and a highway was being built there as well. Both the railway and the road should pass through there. People and goods should pass from Azerbaijan to Azerbaijan, as I said, without any inspections. Otherwise, Armenia will remain an eternal deadlock. And if the route I mentioned is not opened, we are not going to open our border with Armenia anywhere else. So, they will do themselves more harm than good.
Ermənistanla heç bir başqa yerdə sərhədimizi açmaq fikrində deyilik və beləliklə onlar bundan daha çox ziyan görəcəklər, nəinki xeyir.